Check Game Podcast.
New episode of Check Game.
Episode of Check Game Podcast.
So welcome back to Check Game.
All right, so welcome back to Check Game Podcast.
All right, welcome back to Check Game.
Welcome back to Check Game.
Yo, welcome back to Check Game.
Welcome back to Check Game.
Hey, yo, welcome back to Check Game, man. I'm here with your boy Alvin Williams.
Got an opportunity to share a game. You know, it's called Check Game. Bring him in, Fats. Bring him in.
So welcome back to Check Game, man. I'm here with your boy Alvin Williams, and he brought his homeboy Tim Thomas here. So let's get this party started, man. My man from Patterson, New Jersey. Shout out to the hood. We got to get him a shout out first, right? And my man made it to the pros. He was number 7 draft pick. He was the number 1 player in the country. He's a real big time player. Let's give him his props and give him his credit, man. Welcome in Tim Thomas, man. Shout out to my man.
Love.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Can't complain.
Hey, yo, Tim. I really appreciate you, man, taking the time. I know I'm your old head. I'm your old head.
The point guard. The point guard.
But you showed me the ropes. You showed me some ropes when you came to Nova. Before you came, you came to Nova. You showed me some things. You showed me what big time was. I had Kerry Kittles. But I ain't see big time like that.
And I know you got more stories you got to share too, but trust me, man. Like the decision to go to Nova was easy, knowing that you was there, J. Law, Chuck, guys that was already on the NBA radar, you know. And for me, coming out in '96, having an opportunity to go straight to the league. And decided not to go to the league, I'm like, yo, I got to get around some guys that's been through this shit, that know, you know, what's at stake and you know how to prepare and all this shit. Because, you know, you got to remember, my high school coach never played. So everything I went through from middle school all the way up was me and God blessing me with that talent, you know, going to 5-star different camps. So I'm like, man, I got to get around some dudes that know this shit in the weight room and shit like that, that's gonna help me for that next level. And yeah, I showed you some things that, you know, big time players can get away with, but you kind of guided me, you know, in that weight room, practice, all those kind of things, how to prepare, how to get ready, you know what I'm saying, for games. So you know, trust me, man, like y'all gave me more than you can, you know, imagine. And that I was only on campus 5 months, so in that 5 months.
I told them before you got on, I saw about 3 months. After our last game, last time I saw you had a white suit on going across the stage shaking David Stern hand.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know, man. Like my wife went to Georgetown, so when the season was over, we was, you know, having our first child. So I shot right to Georgetown, and I was missing for about 2 weeks. And Lapis and the guys called, was like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm down to Georgetown." The first thing they asked Al was, "You transferring?" I said, "Yeah, I'm transferring to the league." So Lap was like, "Hey, you got to come back to campus. We got to make this official. You got to meet with a couple of agents and, you know, kind of go through the whole process or whatever." And I never forget, I drove up. I did all that in like a 2-day span. And Lap must have thought like he could convince me to stay, because that was part of the meeting too. Like, yo, I don't think you ready, this, that. And I'm like, I said, yo, I'm gone. Ain't no second questioning it. And then I told him, yo, you know, my lady's pregnant, blah, blah, blah. I'm about to have a family. You know what I mean? I got to go do what's right for my entire family. And then, you know, Paul Hewitt was always the cool one. Paul was like, "No, Lap, he gone. That was that, man, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, that's new news to me, because I thought that was a sign, seal, deliver, like you was a one and done. And I was talking to Fast before. I was like, if you was a coach, a college coach, how would you approach recruiting a one and done? Would you even go that route? Depending on university. I know today's time is different, but back then, you know, a one and done guy, it's now or never. How would or how would you as a coach, which you are now, but as a college coach, how would you approach that scenario with a one and done situation?
it's tough because you got to think about it as a coach, especially in college, as a coach, regardless to the era, you could get fired on the spot if you lose it.
Yeah.
So all
Yeah.
coaches want that talent to continue their success, to keep their job. You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that standpoint, I understood that with that. But on the other side, it's like, I'm an inner city kid. I'm blessed with this talent. I got to go take advantage of this thing. And I didn't have to come here. I was already a multimillionaire. I had an $18 million contract with Adidas my senior year in high school. So I didn't even have to come here. I could have went to the league just like Kobe did. Just like Kobe did. God rest his soul, right? People forget Kobe first year and a half, 2 years, he didn't play as much. He was trying to, figure it out, whatever.
Figure it out.
But the money was there. He got the bread was there from Adidas in the league contract. So again, I didn't have to come here. And then the other thing was, it was a lot of schools throwing the money around, but we had examples before us. I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but we had guys that took the bag and got in trouble and stuff like that. So going to Noble was like, it was a good thing because, like I said, you was there and Al and Chuck, you guys was on the board already. And for me to come in and then allow me to play the three, I was 6'10" playing the three. You know what I mean? So like that was the whole thing. So Nova was really like a comfort kind of thing for me. You know what I mean? It really wasn't like, I'm gonna go here because these guys got this guy, that guy, and Kerry just left and it's a buzz. I had every school in America, but it was a lot of corrupt stuff going on. And I'm like, when I go get the money's gonna be good, clean money. It ain't gonna be booster, this, that, where I can get in trouble, the university get in trouble. I didn't want that. You know what I mean? So that's why, that helps me with the decision, to get down there.
Respect to you. Respect to you and your family with that. What you got? I know you got hood fats. What you got?
I mean, he from Patterson, so it's mad love, man. You already know. I mean, I'm from Diamond in Philly, but shout out to Patterson. There's some people I know out there that's really hood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody on Diamond.
Yeah. So Tim, well, I didn't want to get too far into college because we all got a relationship with Kobe. I happened to be in Maryland at the Charlie Weber tournament where you and him battled it out down there. What was that like? Because you and him was like number one head to head, getting at each other, and you was at such a high level of fame as a kid. What was that like for you, being number one player, being all his highlights, all his shine coming to you as a young boy from the hood? What was that? Give us a little bit of that, man.
It was different, man. Like, it's like no one can explain like how instant fame hits and how you deal with it. It's like every day, every hour, you just gotta kind of manage it as it comes. You know what I'm saying? And since the 6th grade, my first time going to 5-star basketball camp, kind of getting a lay of the land with that, seeing Rasheed and Mark Jackson and these guys, having the best bunks and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, why they over there and I'm over here? Stephon Marbury and guys like that being in different spots. But yeah, man, like you don't know how to adjust with that, kind of lifestyle. Thank God it wasn't like now with social media and different outlets and different, people kind of praising you. We had a couple of magazines and everything else was just talk. Yo, you know the boy, they got the boy in Jersey, they got the boy in Philly, he's nice, he's this, is that. Until you actually seen these guys, in camp. So with um, Cole obviously was an international kid that, grew up overseas. So when he got to the States, I was the closest thing to him. We was in the same class. He was an hour and a half away from me. And for him to get right in the mix, the best thing to do was put him on with us. So Cole came and played a couple events with myself, Vince Carter, Kevin
That's crazy.
Freeman.
That's crazy. About that
Yeah,
team,
Rip Hamilton. So back then people forget Kobe was nice, but like most international, well, it's different now. Those guys, they handle and stuff is different, but Kobe couldn't really pound that rock to get from A to B to get his shot off and all that kind of stuff. But he was very skilled, very determined, always had that chip on his shoulder. That was him all his life, you know. But the event that you're talking about, I actually was playing baseball that summer. I went back and did the Michael Jordan because I was so far ahead of the game. This is the truth. I'm seeing the pictures. So when you edit this stuff, you have it. But I went back and I was playing baseball. So I told the guys, I said, this was our first time really kind of competing against each other. And I told the guys, I said, listen, if y'all make it to the championship and you play cold, I'm going to drive down. Because I ain't wanted to be something where I know my brother, he going to go kill everybody. So we got to have somebody on our side to go kill. And if you remember, I got there maybe a quarter late, something like that. I walked in like Tom Shepard. No stretch, no nothing. It got right on the court. At that time, Cole probably had maybe 12, 15 at that time when I walked in the gym. But when I walked in the gym, if you remember, when I walked in the gym, all you heard was, ooh, and it was a big crowd following me, got to the court. And again, I was Tom Shepard. No stretch, no nothing. Lace them up, go play. And it was a great game. They ended up winning. They won the game. That was the only time me and Cole competed against each other. The only time. Now, I'm going to fast forward you and give you some information that y'all may not know. If you remember, a couple of years after us, LeBron played Melo, I think, on ESPN. That was supposed to be, that was supposed to be me and Cole in high school. We an hour and a half away from each other. The number one, number two player, however you want it. Some people like steak, some people like, lobster, however you want your meal. 1 and 2, an hour and away from each other. Every venue wanted to host this game. The Spectrum, the Garden. We could have went any college campus in Philly, any college campus in Jersey. Respectfully, they didn't want to make the game, and history is history. So we never really got a chance to compete against each other in high school. McDonald's All-American game, we was on the same team. Magic Round Ball, we was on the same team. The only time we really got a chance to compete against each other was in the league, and one time in a playoff series when I was with Phoenix and he was with the Lakers. So that was it. But that was the golden era of basketball. You had a lot of guys from New York, a lot of guys from Philly, a lot of guys from Jersey, DC that was, just, had it, man. And they had that ticker and they was just getting after it. And the passion was there. And it's a little different now in this era.
Hey, Tim. So I North Jersey, because it seems like it's two different worlds for Jersey. You got South Jersey, where we closer to, and then you got
Right.
North Jersey.
Right.
Why is that separation? Is it just the distance? Is it a whole different culture? What's the difference between North Jersey and South Jersey?
It's just a different culture. North Jersey is closer to New York, so it's a faster pace of living and all that kind of stuff. South Jersey is more like Pennsylvania or whatever, where it's more land, and things of that nature. But as far as the game itself, faster pace. The high school games, the high school games, the AAU was at a rapid pace. South Jersey was more slow, methodical. But now it flip flop. South Jersey teams are better than North Jersey teams.
Word?
In a whole. Like you have more South Jersey teams better than North Jersey teams. So North Jersey right now we probably got about maybe 4 or 5 solid programs. South Jersey, they have a lot more. So but I mean it's just been that way, man. For years we always say North Jersey, South Jersey. I don't know why it's still Jersey.
Was that ever competitive for y'all? Was that ever like a friendly competitor? Like, was there anything like that? Do y'all have any type of tournament where the South Jersey team, the best South Jersey team would meet the best North Jersey team? Anything like that ever took place, like a
No,
states final?
no, I mean we used to have the TOC, where you have to play, some teams like I remember in high school playing against Malik Allen and John Celestin, in different games in the TLC. So you'll have stuff like that. We don't have the TLC anymore. But overall, there's always the conversation like who's the best high school player to ever come out of New Jersey. Some people will say DeJuan Wagner, some people will say myself or others, or, whatever it may be. You'll have that debate, North Jersey, South Jersey debate, stuff like that. But, for the most part, it's still Jersey, but it's just that stigma of, oh, that's South Jersey, closer to Philly, the slang or whatever is different. It's just little things like that. So
okay.
Hey, so Tim, you number one guy in high school. Why'd you go to Nova? And I mean, you gave us a little bit of that of them having pros already, them having guys that was on the list. You know what I mean? Like that can compete at a high level. So that was your interest, and you was the big dog player. Did you know you was definitely going one and getting out of there? And why did you choose Nova? If you can give me a little game on it.
Well, first and foremost, I didn't know I was going to be one and done. I just prepared the best way I could. Again, not knowing the things that I experienced, and Al could tell you about this. My first probably 3 weeks with going through, different training and track running and all that kind of stuff. Like I never experienced that stuff. Cause like I said, my high school coach never played. So, that whole atmosphere was just different for me. But again, to go to Nova, one of the major things that drew me into Nova was that Lapis convinced Zeffy to redshirt, Zeffy Penn to redshirt. And that opened up a door for me to play the three. And he told me, you come here, you'll play the three, you will have Chuck and J Law as your 4 and 5, you'll play the three. Obviously they get in foul trouble, you'll go to 4 or 5, whatever it may be. But that was like key for me because everybody else wanted me to come in as a 4 and stuff like that. But I wanted to go into the league as a 3. Then you get older, you go into playing a 4 or 5. But yeah, man, again, like that was just it for me. Like once I decided that I wasn't gonna go pro, I wanted to stay close to home so family and friends could get to me, see games and stuff like that. I didn't want to be too close to home to have the distraction because obviously me and Shaheen Holloway wanted to have a package deal with all of the New Jersey guys at that particular time. Shaw chose to go to Seton Hall early.
Thank God he didn't come. He would take some more minutes.
Yeah, how about that, right?
God damn.
And then I was
trying to bamboozle me.
Right. And I was able to convince, Brian Lynch and Malik Allen and John Celestin and TJ Cowett and all those guys to come to Nova. And it worked out because, when I left, then Malik had his chance and John and those guys had their chance and both of those guys end up being pros. So, it worked out. But yeah, Nova was again, playing the 3 was big, having vets like Al and the guys. And then as soon as I decided to go there, we had that that radar on us, that monkey on our back, starting the season off fourth in the country, ranked 4th in the country. And, the rest is history. But yeah, Nova was, like again, it was a safe place for me because there was no cheating, there was no scandals, nothing going on. They just had great success the last 2 years with Kerry and that group, John and those boys. And I just wanted to, be the guy that was such, a high, what do you want to call it, recruit or whatever, coming out to kind of bring to the forefront what we see now with all of the guys that came after me. So I always tell people like, no disrespect to all the other guys, but I made it cool to go to Nova. When you look at, everybody that came behind me.
And you told me that in Milwaukee, and I was ready to swing on you, right? And then he was in Milwaukee. He was doing an appearance, and we was catching up and talking that shit.
Yeah.
And he said that. I was like, "What the fuck you mean? You made it cool? Like we was already cool."
Yeah.
Once I got on the bus and I thought about it, I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But I say this, I say this, like you first come in there, Tim, and I tell everybody, dog, and this is why we're close today still. You came in there with the fanfare and your mindset, whatever your mindset, which I would like to get into, like your mindset, like as a youngster, but you was so humble, dog, respectful, fitting in. Just you wasn't doing nothing to try to disturb anything that we had because we were seniors. And it was just like it was real respectful. And we respected it and we just all just connected. But I tell you this, you talk about he ain't know. Hey Fats, we had preseason running, right? So we used to have to run the mile. Biggs had to run the mile in 5:50. Guards had to run in 5:25. Right? Tim, he's struggling. He's struggling to get this thing, right? So the last day, when Lap used to tell us, like, yo, if you don't pass this test, you can't start practice. You can't start practice with the team. You can't be in Midnight Madness. So you got to pass this. So the last day we did our training, this boy Tim, he had some type of strategy, dog. You remember your strategy?
Yeah, it was terrible. I started off sprinting like I was the fastest man in the world and can't stop.
Yeah.
And then and then all the guys like, come on, Tim. And I was trying to get through the line.
Hey, dog. Hey, Fats. Now, Tim, Fats grats his program. They just ran around the city. They was all a bunch of flojos. They just ran. That's all they did was run. Sheed, all of them, they just ran. Yo, Tim, he started this first lap, dog. I'm looking like, damn, he took off sprinting. I'm like, what the? Lap looking at me. He looked at me. He was like, because I ain't run. I was a senior. My ankle hurt, dog. I can't.
Yeah.
Lap looked at me. Was like this. Al, he's not gonna make it. I was like, hey, dog. He damn near lapped everybody the first time. Man, by the time he got that finish line, dog, he was damn near walking, dog, on the first lap. Like, yo, dog. That strategy. That's the funniest shit I saw, man. But that goes to show like who you were. Like he did everything to do what Villanova was. We had high standards, a lot of discipline, structure. You gotta be in class. He never wavered, dog. It was never a time we got in trouble because he wasn't in class. It was never a time he missed an obligation, anything like. And I just looking and I commend you, dog, so much because of your approach. And it's never changed, Tim. Like it's never changed. I look at you as a mentor to these kids. I looked at you all the time. I look at your years in the league. I remember playing against you in Milwaukee. I almost had a chance to beat you. I missed the foul shot. And I remember you walked me off the court. Like, yo, you all right, dog. You all right, man. Keep going. I said, God damn, man. But that was that Nova experience, man. But I really like your mindset, dog. Like, where did you get that mindset? Because you could have been the most arrogant, cocky motherfucker. But where was that mindset? Again, your upbringing or what?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is upbringing. But again, Al, like you gotta understand, like I'm the youngest of 5, and I was going through this basketball journey basically on my own. You know what I mean? So like going to camps and chasing the older guys in the neighborhood, you know, to learn how to play the game. You know what I mean? Because they're older, they're in college, and I'm a youngster, and all of those things. And like my approach when I got to Nova was that you guys was the vets, the seniors. So whatever the rules are, even though I'm the #1 player in the country, I'm getting the attention, I'm getting the interviews, they let me wear whatever sneakers I want, shipments coming in, this, that, right? That I can't do this on my own. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't go into this and say, all right, like this tennis or golf, I'm gonna go, you know, have the best whatever match or whatever. I needed my guys. You know what I'm saying? And when I came down, you might not remember this. I came down was like an unofficial, because I used to always just pop up. And y'all used to be like, yo, what the fuck you doing here? All right? Then, I think this boy gonna sign. And one day, I don't know if it was Jay or Chuck, but y'all took me to the steak joint. We had a couple of, cheese steaks or whatever. And I'm sitting there and y'all was like, yo, watch this. And Chuck ate about 3 of the big joints. I'm like, what the fuck? So, Chuck was all cut up. I was big too, but Chuck was big, country cut up and all that.
Country.
But, yeah, but my thing was to come in and fit in because I knew my talent and I knew I could get mine at any time. But it was more or less figuring you guys out because you're seniors. I don't know J-Law game as well, so I got to figure him out. I know you're a guard. I don't know if you like to go left, how you want to play off the pick and roll. So our practice time and being on campus and gelling and all that stuff helps you, within the game itself. You know what I mean? So I can't come in and be arrogant and say, nah, coach, all the plays got to go through me. What the fuck y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Who this dude? Like, you know what I mean? So that was just it, man. Just trying to come in and figure out how to fit in. And then once I got that niche on how to fit in and you guys respected me and my game, it made it easier. You like, think about it. My first game, it was so much hype, right? All kind of hype. We played Providence. Austin Crozier, projected lottery pick. He's going to be this, that, that. I was like, this guy? Him? No disrespect to Austin. He had a great career in the whole shit, but at college level, he was slow and I jumped right out the gate, 29, 9, and 7. And then
Crazy.
I'm like, and
you had the pennies on.
Right. Yeah. But
we had team flights. You had the pennies on, but go ahead.
But all of that success was due to us gelling and coaches getting to know me, you guys getting to know me, because remember, I'm a freshman getting plays called for me.
Yeah.
That shit don't typically happen. You know what I'm saying? Even the best of the best. Like right now, some guys are going into systems and they got to figure it out their freshman year. Like I had 2, 3 play sets. You know what I mean? Like, so, all of that, man, is just, again, me getting a chance to come in and kind of figure you guys out. You guys figure me out. And then we putting it together because at the end of the day, the end goal is for us to win, and we had to do it collectively. And that was it, man. Just, remaining humble through the success has always been my thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a blessing. You're being blessed with this talent. You're being blessed to be in that fraternity with the best basketball players, the best people, businessmen in the world. Like that fraternity stretches, a long way. But before that, I didn't know anything about college. We watched. I grew up watching the Big East. I always wanted to play in the Big East, so, even, the other colleges, the Dukes, the Carolinas, the Kentuckys, all of them recruiting me. I mean, it was beautiful, but it ain't drawn to me like a Big East school. You know what I mean? To be able to play in the Garden where I'm a Knicks fan. I grew up a Knicks fan and, having a chance to play with the Knicks, stuff like that. Like, that was everything for me, so that's why, going to Nova was the idea situation. Cause again, it was a safe haven. There was no cheating going on. Even though I had the NCAA on my back like every 2 weeks, coming on campus, asking questions and all kind of crazy stuff. But
you might have them coming on you might have them coming on your back again because you started the thing out by saying before you got to know you had an $18 million contract from Adidas. So the statute of limitations, I don't know. But I didn't know you was packing like that on Campus Corner. You would have got a couple more cheesesteaks for me.
Yeah, well, with that being said, I still got 3 more years left, so I want my NIL money too.
You could go back. You definitely can go back.
Right.
Hey, yo, so hearing Al say that I'm Al's cousin, me seeing you because we the same class as this high profile athlete and the way you conduct yourself, applauded to that because you, like Al said, you could have been an asshole on campus. You're the #1 player in the country. After college, you was the number 7 pick in the draft, which means you was a lottery pick. What was that like back at home in Patterson, being from the hood? How'd they celebrate you? what was that emotion for you now that you cracked into the league and you doing your thing now? What was that like, man? Being drafted so high and getting into the NBA, doing your thing, Tim.
That was one of the best feelings in the world because I had the entire, well, I won't say the entire city, but I had a good amount of people from my city down at North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, at that draft. And then to hear your name get called is everything, right? When your name get called, you ain't even thinking about what team you're going to. You just like, I got picked. I'm top 10. I got picked, right? So when your name get called and it's called by the home team, New Jersey Nets, you like, oh man, I'm gonna be home. And everybody around that drove down now have shared that same experience with you. You know what I mean? And then it's like,
that's cool.
You know, I get traded 10 minutes later and I get traded right back to Philly. You know what I mean? An area that I know because I've been there and, knowing, AI. I ran into AI in the mall when I was in college. It gave me like $5,000. I was with my lady. So I just gave it to her. If I kept that money, Nova's in trouble. You know what I mean? So I'm like, here you go. But nah, man, it's like, it's everything to be, have your name called and be a part of that lottery. And that was one of the reasons why also that I chose to go to college because that 96 class was a heavy class with all of the guys that came out. And the Charlotte Hornets said that they was gonna take the first high school guy that was available at 13. So I always wanted to be top 10, right? And that's why I would say, I said it on a couple other podcasts, if I would have came out, history would have been changed. Not in the sense of what Kobe did and what Kobe became. No question. Kobe was going to do that regardless. But Kobe could have did that in a Boston Celtics uniform, Atlanta Hawks uniform, because who's to say the team that drafted him would have traded him to the Lakers? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say history could have been changed because at that moment, if you look at me, you look at Kobe in 1996, not game because he was a guard. I was a big with guard skills, or what you see now, but body frame. I was 6'10", 240. Kobe was 6'6", working on his body. He was probably 200, if that, maybe 190. I don't know what he was, but that was the thing I think early on in Kobe's career that kind of held him back from playing more his rookie year and his first year and his second year. So again, man, like being top 10, obviously, some people look at it as the money thing, blah, blah, blah. But as a competitor, you always wanted to be either one or within that top 10 category of your class.
Just to reflect, we got a big Philadelphia base, and your time in Philly, you talked a little Nova, but your time in Philly. But before get into that, playing with AI, you coming in, and Philly always talking about they needed that score next to AI and stuff like that. But before that, I wanted to give you a shout out as well and acknowledge the facts when a lot of times, man, me being a senior, I used to sit in that room and I used to struggle like, damn, dog, bad game or whatever. Saying like you did in Milwaukee. Come on, man, you all right? I had bad game. I'm like, man, I ain't getting drafted. Yes, you are, man. You getting now that I know you knew the whole board, who was on the board, so you knew more information. You should have been my agent. But tell me, I appreciated the fact you consoled me at times, dog. I'm the senior. You be like, yo, you all right, dog? Come on, man, keep balling. And that year, I don't know if you remember, I started off that year on fire. We went to San Juan and won that tournament out there, and I'm averaging I start thinking so much about the league. I'm thinking about the league. I'm thinking about the league, and my game started to decline. My game declined. I was averaging about 20-something. I think I dropped to like 8 points, dog. I was getting games where I wasn't scoring early in the game.
A couple,
And Tim just started like, as a freshman, like, yo, you all right, OG, you all right. And they're not calling me OG back then, but you all right, Al, you all right. You going to get drafted. And then shout out to Coach Lapp. I remember Coach Lapp taking me to his son, Lil Petey. Petey's game. He had like a little game or whatever. And he was just talking to me. He's like, yo, your success is going to come from the team success. Don't worry about nothing else. And I was honest with him. I said, Coach, I'm thinking about the NBA. as soon as I started wrapping my mind around the right things, my game just start excelling again. But you was there in the room with me, dog, and really be like, yo, you all right, man? You keep playing, man. You be all right.
But you
And
gotta
for you to be that
understand.
young.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But the thing is this though, Al. What I was experiencing from, let's say, 8th grade with the media and this and that. You guys was only dealing with that in a certain bubble.
Right.
When I came, it was the certain bubble and more. You know what I'm saying? Because majority of our games was on TV. It was either CBS, ESPN. We was on TV all the time. So that's a lot when you haven't been in that. And I'm not saying you guys wasn't with Kerry. You played on TV, but we had a lot of national televised games. And that'll have your mind spinning because you want to play well. You know you're on national TV. You know the scouts is watching. You know your family's watching. So it's a lot. So I always had the approach of like, yes, this is it's a sport, it's a business. This is where we're trying to go. But if you don't approach it with having fun as well, the other shit is gonna eat you alive. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, I guess my mentality has always been that way because I've been going through that with the media and the celebrity aspect of it for so long. And then when it came to Nova, it was just so much. Like I remember like probably like my first week on campus. We're staying in the co-ed. I forget the name of the dorm, but we're staying in the co-ed dorm. And
oh, you stayed on campus, huh?
Yeah, I stayed a little bit. But but I remember just student body just coming to the room, and they had the mini basketballs, they had the jerseys, they had magazine articles, and it just became so much. And Malik was like, "Man, we ain't gonna be doing this shit all year." I'm like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" You know what I'm saying? There's no security. We on campus. People know what it is. Like, so what are we gonna do about this? You know what I mean? Then you go to the store and you start seeing like not necessarily our jerseys with our name on the back because they couldn't do that. You would just see the jersey with the number. You know what I mean? And then
So hold up, Tim. So you talking about people came through with 40s and blunts to your dorms and my tape ended up missing?
there you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
I gave you a little Wu-Tang.
I knew
Hey,
that
Fat.
was coming.
Hey, guys, they came over 40s and blunts and it came up
And
missing.
this shit
Yo,
got
you
missing.
got my
Yeah,
tape,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I knew that was
They got
coming.
my tape, dog. Hey,
Hey,
Fats, they
listen.
still got my Crush Groove tape, him and Malik, dog.
Malik got that tape.
Sorry to cut off your
I went to the
story.
league. I left the computer, I left everything. Malik got that tape.
DVD. It was a
Yeah, the
DVD tape.
DVD,
But
the
no, my fault.
DVD. Yeah.
No, it was a
So,
VHS. It wasn't no damn
yeah,
DVD.
there you go.
VHS.
There you go. Yeah. So, but nah, man, like,
Sorry for cutting you out, though.
that's just, that's just the my nature, man, is
Yeah.
I
I
knew that
appreciate
was
that. That helped me a lot.
yeah. And I knew it was a lot on all of us, man, because again, it was like, Nova went from the year before I got there. I think y'all went to the second round.
We lost second round. We never got past the second round
Right.
during those times.
Y'all went to the second round. I don't know if you guys was ranked that year, but we
were.
was you wasn't?
We were.
Was you guys
We was like top. We was top. We just to let you know, man. We was about we was like top 10. After my sophomore year, we top 10 most of the time. Yeah,
okay, so there you
we was
have
up
it.
there.
But when I
Yeah, we
got
was up
there, we
there.
was top 5.
Hey,
there
So
you go.
you know what I mean? It was a lot. I'm just saying it was a lot of
No,
excitement
a
at
lot
that
came with it.
time, man. Yeah, it was a lot that came with it. And I'm always a team player. I've always been a team player, man. I always wanted success for everyone, man. You know what I mean? And again, it was for me, it was probably the best 5 months of my life because also going to college allowed things to slow down for me because in high school it was a rat race, and then having your name in the conversation of going straight to the league, it was just so much on the household and with family members you never knew, and just it was just so much. So going to college, it kind of slowed things down for me to give me the perspective to kind of see who's around me for the right reasons, not just okay, here come the millions. You know what I mean? So that 5 month span, man, like it was everything. Obviously playing ball, but connecting and still having these relationships, going to Hawaii for the first time, getting stuck on the hill. I mean, Puerto Rico, getting stuck on the hill, things of that nature. Like we can never forget that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So like that was like, it was a good time for me.
Yeah.
So Tim, me and Al, we live together in Toronto. You playing, he playing. We would pick up the video game, and I would pick the Bucks. You know what I mean? And I want to hear some of your step with Big Dog and Sam Cassell, because you was balling out there in Milwaukee, and I used to spank him a little bit with the Bucks, and I happen to use Tim Thomas a little more than normal. I just want to know what was that like out there with the Bucks, man. Tell me about that Bucks step, man.
So I never wanted to go to Milwaukee. I tried to fight that trade until the last minute. So obviously I'm in Philly, and the reason why I got traded from Philly is David Falk. Because the two agents that I met with was David Falk and Arn Tellem. Arn Tellem was obviously Sonny Vaccaro's guy, but Arn was a baseball agent at first. A lot of people don't know. Well, they may know, but Arn was a baseball agent at first. David Falk had the league wrapped around his hands because he was Michael Jordan's agent. So at that time, in that 96 class, if I would have came out, obviously I would have had to pick an agent. And most guys was going with David. Allen Iverson started off with David Falk. So I don't know if people remember that. So
yeah, for sure.
So Allen had a great rookie year. Obviously, I joined him his second year. And if you know Allen is gonna go get his and all of that kind of stuff. But I was the guy that didn't really need any play calls. I could just, kind of fit in as is. So on that particular team, you had Derek Coleman, and you had Allen Iverson, you had Jerry Stackhouse. These guys are, legit scorers, big time players. You got DC at the 4, you got Chuck at the 1, play Stackhouse at the 2, you play me at the 3. Now you got 4 guys in the court that can score. We should be able to compete with anybody. You know what I mean? Throw a center in there. We had God rest his soul, Eric Montross, as our center. So I always felt like Philly was the perfect place for me because at that time I could run the floor, I could handle the ball, I could shoot it. So, I fit well with the star player in Allen Iverson and then the star vet in Derek Coleman, right? And then obviously a young guy in Stackhouse who's also trying to establish himself. So getting traded to Milwaukee, I'm like, this the same damn situation. Like, what you sent me here for? It's the same situation, right? So the difference is you got a guard in Sam Cassell who won 2 championships his first 2 years, right? You got Jesus Shuttlesworth, who is a Jordan Brand athlete. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to establish himself. He's only a year in front of me. And then you got a vet in Big Dog who the first guy to get, $1 million contract. So back then it was all about
$100 million.
Well, yeah, $100 million contract. So back then it was all about playing the guys who was making, the most money for the fan base. You know what I mean? All the commercials, blah, blah, blah. But Milwaukee is a smaller market. So the summer of my rookie year, I shot 2 commercials with Adidas. It was supposed to drop mid-year, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So, I'm sorry, the summer of my after my rookie year. So my first year, I think I averaged 12-5 or something like that with Philly, 12-4, something like that. And this is with no play calls. This is just getting up and down, just playing ball, read and react. So my second year, I started seeing how the organization was treating me in the sense of giving me wrong information. So they'll say, "Hey, we having a workout." It's summertime, right? It's nothing is mandatory. So they'll say, "Hey, we having a workout." Back then, the Sixers didn't have their own facility. We would be practicing all over the place, right? Up on
Yeah,
city
y'all was
line,
at
different
Pecan.
places.
Y'all was at
Yeah,
Pecan. Yeah.
we was everywhere. So they'll say, "Yeah, we're gonna be down to Temple 4 o'clock." I go down to Temple, nobody down here. Everybody working out at Peacock. Or we're gonna be at St. Joe's at 2 o'clock. I go to St.
Okay.
Joe's, nobody there. They had, so it was a whole lot of like kind of communication stuff. And I'm like, why is this the case? You know what I'm saying? When I'm on the roster, I'm a guy that y'all traded for in the draft, right? We supposed to match blah, blah, blah. But what I didn't realize was because you're young, you're not really paying attention. They traded Stackhouse my rookie year. I'm like, that's Jerry Stackhouse. What are y'all doing? Like, why you trading him? We need that guy. Then they couldn't trade DC because DC contract. But then I started noticing how DC was moving and acting towards Larry Brown. The vet don't want to practice or whatever, whatever. That's a vet. Gotta let him go. Let him do what he want to do, right? They was bumping heads, whatever, whatever. So when they made the move again, like I didn't want to be in Milwaukee. So I was actually trying to get my agent to get me to go to Indiana because me and Reggie had the same agent, and they had a young Al Harrington and guys like that. But I was trying to get to Indiana because that team was an older team. I felt like I could go there and help right now. The Milwaukee situation, I'm like, this is the same situation. I'm gonna be behind these guys again. Like, I'd rather stay in Philly and kind of figure it out. So my second year in the draft, they draft Larry Hughes. I'm like, okay, you trade Stackhouse, you bring in Larry Hughes. This guy's a scorer too, right? So let's see how this works. He's a 2. He's a smaller guard. He's a 2. I'm the 3. Chuck the 1. DC is the 4. Man, they never played this together. Never. So I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna work. So it was right around the time they was getting ready to drop the commercials. Adidas was getting ready to drop the commercials for my sneaker and put my sneaker in the store and all that stuff. And Falk made the move, man. I was gone. Gone. Larry Brown looked me dead in my eyes. Me and Allen was in the meeting with him, looked me dead in my eyes. He apologized later, looked me dead in my eyes and said, "You two are the only untradeable guys." And it was crazy because I had to go downtown to do an event. By the time I got downtown to do the event, everybody was like, "Yo, they just traded you to Milwaukee." So I'm like, I got to stay here and do the event. I ain't staying here to do the event. So I get to Milwaukee and I love all my brothers there, but it was difficult for me because I felt like I was supposed to be doing more and should have been in a better situation compared to like my peers at that time. But, everybody's situation is different. And I just had to play the cards that was dealt, for me. So George called, he kept his word. He said, "Listen, you're young, you're gonna be the first guy off the bench. You'll be competing for 6 man of the year every year. You're gonna play 1 through 5. And when it's time for you to get paid, we're gonna make sure we pay you." And I was like, whatever you say, because at that time now you can't really trust anybody because your first coach,
Right.
you know, just lied to you. Now he's a Carolina guy. Then I go to another Carolina guy, and I'm like, "You expect me to believe you? I'll wait till it's time." You know what I mean? So, I never forget my first game with um with Milwaukee. I wore number 24, which is kind of ironic, right? We played the Pacers in Indiana because they give you that 48-hour time span to get there. George was true to his word. I was the first sub. He put me in the game. I played damn near every position. Didn't know no plays. He was just like, "You bring it. You do that. On the board, doing timeouts, different things like that." And then for about three and a half years, close to 4 years in Milwaukee, I played damn near 1 through 5. I was in Milwaukee for five and a half years.
Hey, Tim, you don't remember this, or you may even remember this, but the lockout year, our rookie year, and we weren't allowed to play in front of nobody. We had to make your own runs and all that stuff. And you called me y'all was about to, the lockout just ended, and you called me. Y'all was about to go to North Carolina for training camp. Y'all had training camp in Chapel Hill, and you called me. Was like, "Yo, Larry Brown told me to give you a call and ask you to come to our training camp. He's like, he can't guarantee you a contract, but he wants you to come to training camp and see what they can work out after that." And I had just signed a 3-year deal to go back to, cause everything happened real fast. As soon as they ended the lockout, everything rapid
everybody
fire.
was all
And
over the place. Yeah.
I had just signed a 3-year deal. But I swear to God, dog, if I didn't sign that 3-year deal,
You was on your way.
I wanted to play with you. I wanted to play with AI. I always felt like I could be that person that pass, distribute, and they start playing AI off the ball. They end up getting Eric Snow, but you know what I mean, the Sixers, whatever. But I remember you calling me, dog. I was in my kitchen back in Mount Airy, and you was like, yo, we flying out. Larry Brown want me to reach out to you. You gave me a call, and I never forget that, dog. And I was like, nah, I just signed a 3-year deal to Toronto, dog. But that time was crazy. You going to Milwaukee, and I tell you this, y'all was one of the most dangerous team. When you coming off that bench and you went to the 4, dog, and it was Sam, Ray, Big Dog, and you. Oh my God. You start wearing them dumbass, you start doing that dumbass 2 headband job.
I was bored as hell in Milwaukee, man.
Hey,
bored
but
as
when you used to come,
what's up, Milwaukee? But I was bored as hell in Milwaukee.
dog, and y'all, I think y'all had Irvin Johnson as well.
Yeah.
But dog, I'll tell you this, dog. You got players, they talk about people to change the game and stuff like this. But I say you, dog, are one of those guys. I say the same thing about Rasheed Wallace. With your size and your shooting ability and the way you handled the rock, dog. And now you see a lot of these. That's what they look for now. But that
that's all
was
you see now. That's all you see now. Yeah.
Dog, that was you. That was you almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was just like, and then now the game has adapted to that. And when you came back, when you went to Phoenix, and that was another element. So that just showed your versatility. That showed your commitment to winning. Like that speaks volumes, and a lot of people are not going to give credit for that because there's a lot of people, dog. Their careers end because they can't adjust. They can't adjust from being that guy, and then now I'm gonna do with the team. But what you provided, dog, it changed the game. A shooting big, trailing the floor, like it changed the game, dog. So you revolutionized part of the game, dog. You just gotta understand. I hope you understand it about it. I mean,
No, I do.
don't.
I do. And I always talk about the guys before me, like Detlef Schrempf, Billy Owens, guys like that, Steve Smith, guys like that, man, that, was before me and had that shit, man. Like, and you look at him and you go, well, yeah, he's doing that, but can he do it consistently? And then you look at him and it's like, damn, how they scoring majority of their points? This is what they doing, this, that. And it's like, damn. So when George brought that to my attention, he was like, yo, you got such a skill set. You could play 1 through 5. And he was like, if it's a bigger 5, like a Shaq or somebody, you hold them up, we're going to double them. So he was like, then what is Shaq going to do against you on the other end? If he come out at you, you're going to go around him. If he stay in the paint, you're going to shoot the 3 ball. So we had, at an advantage. But George thing was, everybody knew George as a defensive coach when he was in Seattle and all of that. But when he got to Milwaukee, George was the head coach and the GM. So he was able to put the pieces to the puzzle together. And what he used to do with us is he used to be like, guys, if you win 12 games in a month, I'm going to give you the team credit card. And we used to be like, oh, all right, we look at that schedule, boom. Let's go and get these 12. You know what I mean? And he give us the card. And he better been lucky if we wasn't going to Miami or New York or LA, or we could really throw, run that credit card up. But, he was the first coach to be like, hey guys, first one to 100. And he brought in guys that, was involved with kind of playing at a fast pace to get guys shots at quicker pace, not having the game be slow, slow down and stuff like that. And, it was always good to have a guard that was crafty like Sam. Cause Sam could post, he can kill you in transition. He had that pump fake, get to the free throw line. So no matter how the game was going, we had a guard that can find a way to get us a bucket or slow the game down with us, getting to the free throw line to be able to score. while the clock is, stopped. And then,
Yep.
again, you had Ray and Big Dog and obviously myself. So and then people also forget, like, Michael Redd was my rookie.
Michael Redd.
So
Michael Redd,
Michael Redd,
shit.
bad
yeah,
boy.
Bad
quick
boy.
story
Shout
on
out to Michael Redd.
Shout
Yeah,
out
shout
to
out
Mike
to
Redd.
Mike Redd. So when everybody got traded, it was me, Michael Redd, Jason Hart, and I finally get my Adidas stuff going, my commercial. I got the shoe in the store. It's a small market, but I'm satisfied with it, whatever. And we played the Sixers. And I think I took a jump shot in the corner. I did something in the corner and rolled my ankle. And I never wore low tops. I was always a mid guy or a high top guy. I would do tape and an ankle brace, just so I can, sustain and play. But for whatever reason, Adidas, they was making these ugly ass shoes that they had me, Kobe, and everybody went. Well, Kobe was wearing them first. But they was making these ugly ass shoes. And I rolled
That's
my
not the
ankle.
John. That's not the Johns that look like a car, is it?
Yeah, they was making them shits, them ugly shits, like fucking space boot
I just
shit.
saw somebody.
So
I just saw somebody in the airport yesterday with them joints on.
yeah, they was making them shits, and they was ugly, and they had they was low cuts, and I tore my ankle up so bad that the doctors in Milwaukee was like, soon as they looked at me, it was like, oh, we gotta do surgery. I'm like, what? And again, we always have examples in front of us, so I'm thinking about Grant Hill and guys like that. I'm like, nah, we're not doing no surgery on my ankle. I said, let me get a different opinion. So me being a, Jersey guy, North Jersey guy, I go to New York. I go see doctors in New York. So the doctors in New York was like, tell your doctors in Milwaukee, your calf is tight. If they loosen your calf up, the swelling in your ankle will go down and you'll be back on the court in 2 weeks full throttle. The doctor in Milwaukee ain't want to hear it. So I refused to get any kind of surgery. I was like, I'm not getting surgery. You can find me, whatever. I'm not getting surgery. So finally it was like, all right, well, we're gonna trade you. So because I went to New York to get the second opinion, they traded me to New York for Keith Van Horn. You know what I mean? So that's
Oh,
how I ended
okay.
up getting to New York the first stint. So, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you. A two-piece question was going to New York. I feel like I wanted to mention that on the back end, but what was that experience of you now going to the West Coast playing in Phoenix? Because you had some valuable minutes out there and y'all went to the playoffs. You had some big games out on the West Coast. What was that like, you being a 6'10 guard, 6'10 do-it-all kind of player? Now you're on the West Coast with that competition versus the East Coast. And the second part was when you got to New York, how did Jersey and Patterson feel when you came back to New York to play? So wanted to mention you about Suns.
Yeah, it was everything because um that year Stephon had also got traded back to back home and was with the
Jersey.
Knicks. No, he was with the Knicks.
Oh, he's with the Knicks.
With Jersey, then
Okay.
he went to the Knicks. So we grew up together going to 5-star. I know his mom, his dad. We just played at Lincoln. His brother Don came and, he's just family. Like I told Steph to come back to New York and receive his love with the Knicks. And you see him all over social media and stuff like that, with the Knicks. So that's always been, my little guy, you know what I mean? And so being in New York and having a chance to play at the Garden, the world's most famous arena, growing up a Knicks fan, trying to, control the TV in the house. Back then you only had so many channels. We was the remote. You had to get up and turn the TV yourself and, fix the antenna and all that stuff. Like, so growing up a Knicks fan and watching those replays and stuff at night and, having a chance to play in it, man, it was everything for me. Everything. I enjoyed my time. I got a chance to be around guys that obviously you mentioned Penny earlier. I was wearing the sneakers in college and now he's my teammate. And, Dikembe Mutombo, God rest his soul, seeing him and, his Big East days at Georgetown and then now he's my teammate. So it was everything playing in that arena. To have your family close and, friends and all that, everybody enjoyed it, man. Everybody. And then I get traded to Chicago, and Chicago tried to shelf me. They didn't want me to play. This is Derrick Rose rookie year. They didn't want me to play. They had their core group of guys. So I'm like, what the hell you trade me for? Basically, they traded for me because I was coming off the books at the end of the year. So they basically wanted to shelf me and then let somebody else sign me or whatever. So I was like, listen, man, I need to continue to keep playing. Like, I'm playing for another deal here. You know what I mean? So um I'm sorry, I skipped ahead. This was my second stint with New York, when I got traded to Chicago. But anyway, they tried to shelf me in the whole shebang. And basically what I wanted to do was get them to buy me out and then sign back with New York. Because we had a solid group. But what they did was they put in the deal that I had to go to a West Coast team. So initially, Pop called me with the Spurs, but they had a whole crew already. And I was like, I gotta play because I need to showcase my talent that I still have it to get another deal. So when Phoenix called, Amari Stoudemire was hurt and Kurt Thomas was hurt. So they had no bigs. They had a couple of bigs, but they wasn't bigs that could score or help, in the everyday, every game fashion. So when I got there, it was like, you're the only big. We're gonna play fast. We're gonna play small. This is what you can do. You can handle. You can shoot. You can create. This is what we need. So I'm like, all right, let me get used to the offense, whatever. And I'll never forget my first day with Steve. Steve said, like most shifty fast guards, when you set a screen, hold the screen, meaning hold the guard up that I'm setting the screen on. Make sure you get body to body contact so I can maneuver. And he was like, after you do that, to space. I was like, what? You don't want me to roll? I'm the only big. You don't want me to roll? And if you throw it up there, I can go get it, whatever. He's like, no, it's just space. And out the gate, man. First game out the gate with Steve, the chemistry hit like that. And I never forget, man. I was in New York running around. I was like going to Basketball City training. I would just run the streets at night because we was living in New York. Almost getting locked up because they're like, who this big, tall, black dude running around the city and all that kind of stuff. And I was in decent shape, but I wasn't in tip-top shape. But that style of play, it took me about 4 games to get in game shape. And just the spacing and playing with a guard that, was a 2-time MVP that can find you with his left hand, his right hand, behind his back, just can read the floor, know where everybody's at. And all they wanted me to do was space the floor. Like this is the game you see now. I'm used to, banging and running into a power forward or whoever, now it's just space the floor. Like that was it for me, man. And it was a good group of guys that, everybody was hungry and wanting to win and we all gelled together and we had a good coach, a great coach and Mike D'Antoni that offensive minded and we didn't practice much. You know, everybody had their tee times and, I don't really play golf, but they had their tee times and I went home time, you know what I mean? So it was great, man. We had a good run. And I wish I could have, signed back with them. But at that time they had younger guys that they wanted to take care first. Boris D. Howe. I know I'm drawing a blank, but they had some guys that they wanted to take care first, and that's why I went to LA. I signed with the Clippers. Yeah. But here's another story. Like, so with Cole, God rest his soul. Before I signed with the Clippers, that same year, Ramadovich was also a free agent. So if you
That's your
remember
boy
that,
too, Fats. Video guy.
yeah. So another shooter,
He love
right?
them
Another
big
sniper.
shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Another sniper. So we had beat the Lakers and the Clippers that year. And we lost to Dallas in the Western Conference Finals. So after we beat Cole, we had a little conversation. I was like, hey man, I'm up at the end of the year. So he was like, oh man, that'd be good if we could get you. I was like, all right, let's see if we can work it out. So we go through that process. We beat I think we played the Lakers first and then the Clippers. I don't know how it went. But anyway, we beat both teams, both LA teams. And during the Mavs series, Cole called me and he's like, yo, what is it that you're looking for? I said, man, I'll take a 3-year deal, a max 4-year deal, because at that time it was, 3 or 4 for a vet like myself at that time. And he was like, all right, all right. And when we lost, they had on the table they was looking for another shooter, a big that could stretch the floor. So it was either me or Ramadovich. So I called my agent, and me and Kobe had the same firm. I called him. I said, yo, get it done. Get that thing done so I could get to LA. Me and Kobe could play together. Kobe is, calling me. I call the agent. We trying to get it done. So we call management. Management is like, all right, look, we got 4 for 24 on the table. I said, done deal. I'll take it. So I get off the phone. I call Cole. Cole, they said 4 for 24. I'm taking it. I'll be out there in a minute. Blah, 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 blah. They called me back and said, we just signed Ramadovich for the same deal. I went crazy. I said, I just talked to y'all 2 minutes ago. Cole called me back, was like, yo, T, I don't know what happened, man. It's fucked up. This, that, that. I said, man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Same deal.
Yeah.
Same almost same kind of player. For what they was looking for at that particular time.
For what they was looking for. Yeah.
What
different player.
Yeah, different player, but what they was looking for. And I'm like, we could have linked up and did something special. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that would have been dope.
Yeah, that would have been real dope. Yeah.
We gonna let you go, Tess. It's past an hour, dog. I know you got a game.
I'm here for you,
bro.
I ain't doing nothing, bro. I'm here for you, bro.
I wanted to ask you something, man. That time, New York, how you said it meant everything to you being there. And then you get traded to Chicago. And you already been through the ups and downs. You've been through the lying. You've been through the politics of it.
Right.
You go to Chicago, and now they don't want you. They got other plans. You in New York City running in the streets trying to get in shape. Was there ever a time of doubt? Was there ever times like, yo, what's going on with my career? What's next? Anything that discouraged you to a point where you was like doubting yourself or doubting the business or anything?
At that time, I would say no, because my OG was Scottie Pippen. So Scottie obviously had an insight with the organization. And none of those dudes liked the organization or how they did them on their magical run. So he was just like, listen, this doesn't affect you as much as you think it does as a player, because they've been known to do bad business. And I just took that advice and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just sit on it and let it play out the way it needs to play out, because if the league and the fan base and whoever knows this is what Chicago does, then it really doesn't put a stain on my jacket. You know what I mean? Because what they was trying to do was tell teams that I was a different type of individual. Oh, he's late to flights, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, back then we used to get the pink slips. You know what I mean? Like when you get fined.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm like, all right, well, if they saying all this stuff about me, where is the pink slips? Show me that I got fined $150K for nonsense and I'm not playing. Like, show me. You know what I mean? So when I went to Phoenix, that was the first thing they put on the table with me signing. Oh, the guy, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. So now I get there and these guys are looking at me differently, like I'm coming in town to be some thug or this, that. And I'm like, when you get blessed with this type of money and fame, and the hood stuff leaves. And if you never grew up in that environment, like we all know guys in that environment, but we're not a part of that because we're focusing on the sport, right? So you can't label somebody something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? So again, it was like, it was never a doubt in my mind that, yo, this is the end of your career, this, that. No, it was never that, because I've been blessed with too much. Like some people blessed with a jump shot, athletic ability, just big, physical. I had all of that shit in my suitcase. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I may be getting older. I might not be as fast as I used to be, or I'm getting older. I may not be able to jump like I used to be. But the skill set shit, like, you know, I could have been one of those guys that played 20 years because of it. You know what I'm saying? So it was never that. It was just that, again, having an OG like that, and also Oakley, who spent a lot of
That's
time at
important.
one time. Yeah, like those guys, and you know, Oak, those guys, when they playing their card games and different shit, they inviting me out. And I'm just in town, like, yo, what am I doing? But they kept me sane because they knew that the business aspect of it was horrible. You know what I mean? And they was just
Yeah.
like, look, one or two things gonna happen. They gotta trade you because it came to a point where with them, I told them, I don't even want to be around them. And they was like, we don't even want you around us. Like the team will go on the road, I would stay and try to work out at the facility. They wouldn't even let me in the facility. It was
Oh,
it
wow.
was that bad. You know what I mean? So and that's why I was able to go back to New York, because I was like, all right, you guys don't want me around, so send me back to New York so I could be with my family and just, you know, wait it out to see what you guys gonna do. So me being in New York, I'm on the roster. Who looks bad? It's not me that look bad, it's the organization that look bad. Because if this is the trend, and this may happen to another player next year and then the year after that, you know, so now they got the blueprint on, oh, Chicago traded for me, but they don't want me to play because I'm coming off the books at the end of the year. And now they sending guys home, and you got a pro guy just sitting at the crib making $4 million, $5 million. The organization look crazy. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but no, I never really kind of questioned myself because of that advice from the guys. It was just more about, as a player, you want to be in the mix. You want the everyday. You want to be around the guys. You want practice. You want travel. You know what I'm saying? It was that I was missing more than anything else. And then obviously also seeing a special player in D Rose. You know, so that was like everything, you know what I'm saying, for me. And then you know, to kind of see how he grew up and stuff, and then you know, just trying to be a part of it to help any way I can, you know, with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was the tough part about it, like not being around him to see that growth.
No, for sure.
Hey Tim, so I mean, we don't want to hold you up too long. I wanted to talk about what you're doing now. You coaching. I wanted you to, because it's this check game. I wanted you to give some game or some advice to any younger kids trying to get into high school basketball. What kind of game would you get to these parents and to these children who trying to get into this space? And what advice would you have for these people now that you are a head coach at a high school doing your thing? What's that advice you would give out with that right now, Tim?
Man, we need a whole nother hour, brother. Like, like seriously, man. It's like, you know, like this game is first and foremost meant to be fun. And a lot of these kids is not really having fun with the game. You know, when your parents or your coaches or your trainers have more passion than you from within about the game, you know, it's really a problem. You know, and our kids now, they're getting too much too early. You know, they're getting, you know, if it's AAU, they're getting, you know, the sneakers and the travel and, you know, the media and all of that kind of stuff, which messes with your mind. Because if you're getting that, now you say to yourself, well, the work is done. I don't have to keep working. I don't have to do too much. And that's why I always tell people the G League was created for guys that think I'm there already. I'm done. I don't have to keep working. And as far as the parents, you got parents that are now considered the agents. So if they don't like you, they're gonna make a move. If they feel like their son should be playing more, or, you know, allowed to make the same mistakes over and over and over again, and you're sitting them, they're gonna make a move. If another coach comes in the picture and lie to them and, you know, kind of make the sandwich the right way they like it, they're gonna move. You know what I mean? So there's so many different elements within now that it's 10 times harder to kind of reach these kids. Now, again, you have some kids that are blessed with the talent, they're hungry, they're aggressive, they want it. They're gonna, dive in and ask all the right questions and try to get all the right information and continue to work and grind. Those kids are the kids that you see go to college and, go into the league and have great careers. But for the most part, we have a lot of kids that are just happy to be playing the game, happy to be a part of it, and not really trying to use the game and not let the game use you, if that makes sense. So for me and my staff, now that I'm coaching at Paramus Catholic High School in North New Jersey, we just try to be patient with our kids and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to get out of them. I've been coaching now for 3 years. I haven't had a 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star kid on my roster, but we kind of play everybody because 20 years ago, let's say 15, 20 years ago, if you was a top 25 kid in the state universities will be looking at you. You know, now if you're not a 4-star or a 5-star, you're not even getting that look. So I try to explain to our kids, like, when we play in all of the top elite programs, we don't have anything to lose. We play in the top, players, whether it's in a different state or our state, we don't have anything to lose. So you should have passion and a certain energy and effort that you put forth into the game because there's no win-win situation for you. Like, if you win the game, it's the biggest thing going. You play well, it's the biggest thing going. You lose the game, you was supposed to lose the game. But it's your fight, it's your competitive nature towards it. So, again, like, this new era is different now in a sense because, again, even at the college level, these guys are getting paid. And I heard maybe about 4 months ago, now that they're fining kids in college. I think it was Penny Hardaway mentioned that, they're starting to take take money away from the kids and give it to some of the kids that may be walk-ons or whatever. And that's ridiculous. That's flat out ridiculous. And now you got kids that are only playing high school ball to get a ranking and stuff like that to get to college and try to stay in college for 5, 6 years. They're not even thinking about the league, because there's so much money and so much, invested in them at an early stage. Some of them get lazy and comfortable, and some of them just say, you know what, I'm gonna go portal to portal to portal year in, year out and make as much money as I can in college and not even think about the NBA. So again, it's just
Hey Tim,
okay.
hey Tim, I just saw today. I don't know if he played for Charlotte. Something. This kid want to be the first player that played on the NBA team to go back to college. He's getting the age and everything. I'm like, it's not making. Back then, if you was in the NBA, like you just said, I'm not on the
Yep.
roster. I'm fighting to get on that roster, dog, to play in the NBA. I'm not thinking about going backwards. Like, to your point, like, the goal to play in the NBA, the best of the best, be down in history, one of the few people or the few groups of people that make it. I remember Kyrie Irving coming out a couple years ago saying 3,000 plus players that played in the NBA in history. Like, that's not even a goal no more. The goal is to do something short term to get something real quick and be on your way. It's just it's amazing the mentality is so different now.
So my saying is, I tell the kids and the parents, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I tell them now, the easy way is the hard way. They go, huh? Yeah, the easy way is the hard way. Everybody wants it so easy now, but no one's really ready to work continuously. Like, dog, you remember when we was coming up, like, we always had to be in shape. If you took 2 weeks off, you was like, damn, yo, when I start back working out, I'm gonna be dead.
You felt guilty.
Right.
You felt guilty.
Now they talk about injuries with these kids and Achilles and this is that. You know why? I think most of these kids in the league or college or whatever is having these Achilles injuries and stuff like that because they get more time off. Look at All-Star
They're
weekend.
not
It's a
conditioned.
whole it's a whole week off. So when you build your body up, you know, the way boxers build their body up before a fight, that's how we was all the time. We was always in tip-top shape all year round. You know, so now these kids, you know, they play their season, they got they you know, minute restrictions on this, that, that, or that. Then in the summer, you know, they're training, but it's just, you know, shooting. Or it's just, you know, a certain weight training or you know, core training, different things like that. We did everything in one day. You ran, you did your core, you did your lifting, you did your shooting, then you go take a nap, you go play, you know what I'm saying? You might go take another nap, go play again. So your body was
Right.
built up for all of the wear and tear.
Yeah.
These kids now, there's no wear and tear. And I'm talking about league guys, not even, you know, in the high school level. Think about this. When we was coming up, we went to camps, AAU all summer. Now they have these circuits where it's 20 games in the summer. What are you getting out of that?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's 20 games, you play the championship, it's 24 games. Like, what are you getting out of that? We played at least 200, 300, and you got to include the park. These kids don't go to the park no more. So we was in the park, you go to camp, you indoor, you outdoor, that's wear and tear on your body. These kids, they don't know nothing about that no more. You know, so when
That's a
you
great
are
point.
blessed with when you are blessed with the talent and you go to the league, and now the league is all about making everybody comfortable, and you know, these guys got certain personalities. You can't yell at them, you can't discipline them, that. So now everything is softer. So they get time off. My neck hurt. I slept in the bed at the hotel, my neck hurt. You know how many bad beds we slept in? Like,
Fuck, let alone if you had a bed, right?
you know what I mean? Like, oh, I slept in the wrong bed, I slept the wrong way, my back hurt, I can't play today. Like, you go in 2, 3, 4 hours before the game, get worked on, Advil, get
But
out there, Al, let's go.
these young boys follow what they see and what they
That's
think.
it.
Just like we
That's
did,
it.
we saw something there. We saw the Oakleys, we saw the DC, we saw the Pippins, we saw like now that made us. Now you know what they see, you know the information they got way more access than we had. So before we let you go, man, I wanted to ask you something real quick, Tim. A few things just to get to. It's a little thing. I want to know what former player, man, woman, and I don't even a player, person that you would like to sit down with and have a drink, have a conversation with that you didn't have, or some information that you would want to have a conversation with a former player or man or female.
So you know me, Al, man. Like I love to kind of pick people brains. And the one thing that I love about All-Star Weekend is the fact that a lot of the older guys are there. The NBA retirement program that they do a lot, you know, you still get to connect with a lot of the older guys. So I've been around a lot of the guys within the fraternity. The one guy I would, and this may sound funny, but the one guy that I would love to kind of just sit down and just chop it up with, probably be Larry Bird. I had interactions with him because he coached the Pacers, and one year I was with the Bucks. I tore the Pacers ass apart, and he had said,
got paid after that too.
Yeah. He got paid well. Got paid well.
I followed your career. I followed your
Yeah.
career.
So one of the things, like, he has said, I'll never forget this. You know, a lot of people, when you look at the Larry Bird highlights, you would think he was smaller than what he is. But Larry is fucking 6'10", right?
Yeah.
Big dude. So I'm tearing their ass up. They throwing everybody at me. I'm tearing their ass up. And I hit a shot, run past the bench, and I'm talking shit, whatever. And you know, he's a big dude. So he stands there, he holds his ground like he's setting a pick. So I run into him, boom. So I turn and look, and he looked me dead in my eyes. He said, if you was in my era, I would have kicked your ass. And obviously, we was winning at that time in Indiana. They ended up winning the series or whatever, but I've heard so many different stories from different guys talking about how he talks shit and what he would do on the court and back it up and different things like that. And I've been around guys that we sit and we talk the shit, but I've seen it from a distance. Always spoke, little brief conversation, and then he had to go somewhere, dip off, do something. But I would love to sit down and chop it up with him and just talk about just Boston and the shit that they used to do and, you know, uh, 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 not turning the heat on, you know what I'm saying? Or if it's hot, not turning the air on and, just the different little mind games and shit like that they used to do back in the day, the winning culture. I remember talking to Bill Russell a couple times about it and, obviously that's different eras, but I would love to pick his brain on those kind of things and just hear his basketball talk about, that dream team and, just everything, man.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And again, like, because if we was in the same area, he would have been a guy I would have had to guard, so it would have been interesting to kind of hear, his perspective on different things. And, obviously he's a guy I respect and all that. So
Part two, what's a younger guy that's playing today that you would like to put your arm around and have a conversation with, have a dinner, chop it up with today in today's game?
In today's game, man, I'm always at the Knicks game, working with the Knicks, so I always get a chance to see all of the youngsters there and kind of help them during the games and stuff. We always throwing out different stuff. But in today's game, man, I probably would say any rookie that's going into it, not knowing what to expect, because
I need a name, dog. I ain't talking about any rookie. I need a name.
You need a name? Oh man. Let's say Cooper Flag, because
Oh yeah, that's cool.
and the rookie, aspect of it, because now in this new era, there's no more vets. The vet is 27. When we was coming up, our vets was, 39, 40,
grown ass men, dog. Families, everything.
Right. So like my vets was Tom Chambers and Terry Cummins. You know what I mean? So
wow, dog.
Yeah, those was my vets. Getting up every morning, young fella, get my newspaper, get my practice gear, get my breakfast. You know what I mean? So it's different times, but like, just kind of I would just tell him about what to expect, coming in, being a top-notch, high school player like I was, top-notch college guy, the one and done thing, all of that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? And then just, having an understanding of what you gotta do year in, year out on, getting better. Because, once that scouting report hits, that sticks with you until you change it. You know what I mean? So not having a vet around, um, and obviously they got some coaches that are, good coaches, good vet leadership, stuff like that. I think, a lot of the young guys need to hear that more often from guys who, have played and could share, how to take care of your body and all of those kind of things.
Hey Tim, we're gonna let you get out of here on this one, but you're from Jersey. I'm Fats. I want to know, give me your top 5. I would want to say rappers, but I want to say musicians. You want me to say North Jersey or South Jersey? Because y'all got a lot.
I need Newark, dog.
Jersey?
I need
straight out of
Jersey.
North Jersey. Give me 5 before you get out of here, Tim. Give me 5, man.
I mean, you got to go Naughty by Nature.
I'm with that.
That's your boys.
Yeah, they're my boys. Those was the ones sending all the Nike gear.
I
thought it was Nike.
Yeah.
My man KG was sending me all the Jordans and the pennies and everything. So you got to go Naughty by Nature. You got to go, obviously, Redman. You got to go, we talking like recent or just in general?
This Tim's.
This yours.
This Tim's.
You got to go Naughty.
Tim's all time.
You got to go Naughty. You got to go Redman. You gotta go Whitney Houston. Man, you gotta put Bruce in there, Bruce Springsteen. You gotta put him in there. Just
you got one more.
Mix it up. And because I'm from Patterson, I can go Fetty, I could go King's Son. I mean, it's just
King's
so
Son.
many.
Wow.
Remember King's Son? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember King's Son.
Yeah. So it's
I didn't know he's from Patterson. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's all over.
Yeah.
What he ain't give us 5. He said King's Son or Fetty. Because I was waiting for Lauryn Hill. I was waiting for
I mean,
Latifah.
you could go Fugees, you could go Latifah. I mean, it's just so many.
Look
You
at
go
me flexing on
Latifah,
this
you
now,
go
Fat.
Fugees. Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to, that last spot is for everybody. For everybody else that's left in Jersey.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Tim, us here at Check Game, man, I'm a big fan. We want to say thank you, man. I love that you got the great relationship with my cousin. He always bigging you up in our years in Toronto, and he always had mad love for you. I really appreciate you stopping by, giving our audience some game, and sharing your life story and your NBA journey with us. That was really helpful, man. And thanks again from me. What you got, Al?
Nah, you already know, Tim. That's my brother, man. Like I said, to anybody, any of these young people out here, and you talked about it, Tim. A lot of these kids, they get so much so fast and not earning it. You are a person that got so much so fast, but the way you handled it, the man, with grace, and you handled it with professionalism and maturity, like it was phenomenal to watch. Because I know people at your age, things could have went south, but you remain solid, man, and you was always a pleasure to play with. You was a pleasure to be a friend, a brother, man. So thank you as always, man, and thanks for joining our podcast. And also, man, just thanks for the relationship. For sure, man.
Definitely,
Love
brother.
you, boy.
Definitely, man. You know it's always love, man.
Thanks, Tim.
Nah,
Thanks,
sure.
Tim. We'll holler at you, man. Thanks again.
All right.
All right.
Later, fellas.
All right.
All right.
All right, Tim.
Yep.